For more, we're joined by the ABC senior business correspondent, Peter Ryan. Peter, thanks for coming in. We've had so much bad news and so many big numbers about the things that the banks have done wrong. This is a real barrage of allegations against Westpac. How significant a case is it?
Oh, this is a massive case. The numbers are mind-boggling, but the implications for Westpac, but also for the welfare of some of the children that have allegedly been exploited in Southeast Asia and the Philippines is quite chilling. As we heard just there from Brian Hartzer, he's horrified, and he was probably expecting yesterday morning before the AUSTRAC announcement that he was sweating for potentially very bad news, but even he would have had no idea that there was going to be 23 million breaches being reported.
But how could he have no idea?
Well,
how could he have no idea? He has a chief risk officer. There is a risk committee on the board. There are compliance teams throughout the bank. And as we heard the head of AUSTRAC say, businesses are the first line of defence.
That's right. And what this demonstrates is that despite everything that we heard at last year's Banking Royal Commission about problems with culture that go deep within financial institutions, in particular the Commonwealth Bank, which went through the last money laundering case, which pales in significance compared to the Westpac case, it appears that despite all that evidence, the alarm bells simply weren't ringing. Banks weren't paying attention. You would have thought that the moment that banks heard what had gone on at the Commonwealth Bank, they'd be doing all their checks and balances, they'd be doing that 200%, having their own auditors go through this, external auditors. So as you say quite rightly, why didn't Brian Hartzer know there were 23 million breaches? Well, quite simply that as soon as AUSTRAC got into the door at Westpac and they went through the books like a dose of salt basically, and went through the various customers, which we'll be speaking about later on. And not just, this is about not reporting these suspicious transactions, but it's showing that they were really ad hoc in their adherence to anti-money laundering and counter-terror financing laws, and this is where they've ended up. You know, when you look at the potential fines, $21 million per offence is never going to happen, but when you multiply that by 23 million, well, you've got, you know, $400 trillion. Of course, it's never going to happen, but this is, you know, extremely damaging for the reputation of Westpac, and, you know, I think Brian Hartzer may be counting himself lucky if he lasts the week.
Robbie, can I turn to you? You have been a prosecutor in terrorism cases and war crimes cases. In 2006, the law changed in this country and there was new legislation to curtail the financing of terrorism. And that's what the authorities expected would catch people sending money